Technology. Technology is something that has embedded itself so much in today's society that I'm willing to bet you have one of these with you at almost all times. However, there are those individuals who would like to ignore this modern day normality. Take one Christopher McCandles, for example, who the New York Times claims life is like an odyssey, which is a fitting term. Many writers and reporters are fascinated by Chris's trip into the Alaskan wilderness. There have been several movies, books, and even a Hollywood film depicting Chris's life as a nomad. However, with technology integrating itself into today's society more and more, it makes more sense to talk about his story today than it ever does before. Chris's life is unique, and it raises certain philosophical idealisms and leaves a lasting impact on all that hear it. First off, I'd like to talk about, the way Chris lived life. Starting off, Chris's parents were interesting. His father, Walt, worked at NASA as an aerospace engineer. Walt was also married to a woman before Chris's mother, which will come up later in the story. Chris's mother, Billy, also worked at NASA as a secretary for Walt. He also had one sister named Karen, who he really adored. Chris was born February 12th, 1968, and from there he partook in various different activities. In high school, he was a standout student, receiving A's in all class but one, physics. Physics, he did not like the teacher and he didn't like the way the class was taught, so he didn't do any of the work and received an F. He also liked playing a lot of sports and was successful at them, but did not have the patience to continue them, and he only did running in high school. It was from here that Chris liked to start voyaging to different places. He took a trip to Yellow Datsun after graduating high school, and it was from there that he decided he wanted to go to Emory University in Georgia. While at Emory, Chris found out some startling news about his parents. Chris's father had a child while married to Chris's mother with his original wife. Chris did not like this, and he cut off all ties from his family. However, with this happening, he still had a lot of success at Emory. He had a 3.72 GPA, he started their school's paper, the Emory Wheel, and he even donated $20,000 of his own money to Oxfam, an organization devoted to ending world hunger. After graduation, he actually reconnected with his parents, and his parents were so proud of him for graduating without any assistance that they gave him $40,000. But it was at this reunion with his parents he told them something interesting. He said, "I think I'm going to disappear for a while." Now, this isn't the end of Chris McCandles' journey, but the next phase of his life raises several philosophical questions and ideas. Like Neo in the Matrix, Chris believed in one fate, the one you create for yourself. After graduating college, Chris took another trip to Datsun, Alaska, and here he abandoned everything that he brought with him, including his car. Chris did not like who society had labeled him as, so he changed his name to Alex Supertramp. Now, this begs the question, what makes us human? Now that Chris has become Alex, is it our name, is it our physical appearance, the human consciousness, or something else? These are all questions proposed by his life. So, now that Alex was Chris, and Chris was Alex, there is the same question that I had before. So, now that Chris was Alex, is Alex still Chris? Alex wanted to disassociate himself from everything with Chris, so he decided to start a new journey. Obviously, Chris McCandles lived a fascinating life, one rooted in certain philosophical idealisms, but what happened to him? What was his legacy? Well, let me tell you. Alex Supertramp decided to take his last adventure April 25th, 1992, into the Alaskan wilderness by himself. He decided to do this because he thought technology and society had held him back for long enough, and he wanted to do something on his own. So he decided to pack up and go to the Alaskan wilderness once again. He only brought with him a rifle, a bag of rice, a notebook, and several different other items to help him on his journey. During the first few months of his journey, he was quite successful hunting small game such as birds, catching fish, hunting squirrels, and hunting rabbits. However, it was when he caught a moose that something started to change. According to his personal notebook, after catching a moose and killing it, it only fed him for 3 days, and he thought this was pointless because he killed an organism that big, and he started to rethink his life. But at this time, the Teklanika River in Alaska had flooded, and this was his only way back to society. Realizing what was to come shortly, Alex started to write a lot in his notebook. He wrote about his life, he wrote about nature, he wrote about everything. His final letter wrote, "I have had a happy life, and I thank the Lord. Goodbye, and may God bless all." Alex Supertramp Chris McCandles died August 18th, 1992, day 112 of his journey. This story is unique only to Chris McCandles, and it serves as both an inspiration and a warning to future generations. Now that we have now reached the end of Chris McCandles' journey, and although we've reached the end, his life story still lives on. For a recap, he was born to two NASA alumni. He was a quick-witted kid who liked to do things his way, liked to live life his way, and liked to do things his way. He also liked to try to ignore society's normalities, and although he had a short life, it was a great one. His legacy, on the other hand, will forever live in the wild.